Welcome to the Introverted Influencer Podcast. I'm your host, Erica Van Slyke. My soul's mission on this planet is to help fellow introverts grow their online influence in a state of feminine flow and ease. While battling the woes of depression, anxiety, and even mom guilt, I've somehow managed to build a six-figure blog without the use of social media and without sacrificing my mental health. If I can do it, you can fucking too. Hey y'all. Okay, I am so frazzled right now because I cannot get my hound dog to stop barking. So if she starts barking, please just try to block it out. I have tried everything. I'm gonna have to figure out something for in the future when I record podcasts. So welcome back to episode 3 of the Introverted Influencer Podcast. So last week was a pretty dry, practical show on the basics of passive income. But ultimately, the goal of this podcast is to approach online influencing from a holistic perspective. So I like the idea of maybe one week I will throw out like a very practical topic on business and then alternate that the following week with more of a spiritual mindset. And also for right now, I'm still recording on my phone, so I'm trying to make these super concise because I really don't have the editing capacity. So I'm just going to get right to the point. I'm a busy working mom, so I kind of get annoyed at podcasts that are supposed to be giving you information, but they ramble on forever anyhow. So just know it's going to be concise. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I am also a potty-mouth. So if you have little ones around, you probably want to put your headphones on. And here goes my dogs again. Anyhow, so since last week was pretty practical, this week I want to delve into more of the spiritual components of building an online business from a place of ease and flow. So one of the main ways my approach to influencing is particularly unique is the fact that I do not use social media as a means of monetization or reader conversion. Basically, I just hop on Instagram right now when I'm feeling inspired to share something or to connect on a more personal level to my audience from my blog. But I don't really monetize Instagram. It's just not my vibe. It's not my thing. I am an introvert, and so I really try to avoid socialization and interaction as much as possible. And, in the early days of my blog, I rarely even showed my face on social media at all. Because, as I mentioned in last week's episode, if the activity is not an income-generating activity, aka eyeballs or clicks on my website, I refuse to waste my time with it. And no, this mantra was not from a place of entrepreneurial genius on my part. It actually came out of sheer survival mode when I started my blog over 6 years ago. So, over 6 years ago, I was a work from home contract SEO specialist / marketing consultant. I had an 18-month-old at home with me who needed my constant attention. And I was going through a major depressive episode in my life. And on top of that, I was pregnant with my second child. Surprise. And essentially, I had no time to fuck around with endeavors that were not absolutely essential to monetizing my blog. There was just no bandwidth for that whatsoever. And as an SEO specialist, I knew that generating helpful, optimized content on a very consistent basis on my actual self-hosted website was going to be my first priority. But In my years of SEO consulting, I understand that proper SEO is a long game. So I needed to find some other platform to just jumpstart my blog and my exposure. And so I went with Pinterest. And my reasoning behind going with Pinterest were for the two following reasons. And keep in mind, too, Pinterest is a search engine. It's a visual search engine. It is not social media. So when I say I don't use social media to make money, I legit mean it. Okay. Reason one, I went with Pinterest. So in Pinterest, I knew I could link each individual pin directly back to my website. So if done properly, Pinterest would serve as a great source of traffic. Reason number two, I was already a Pinterest addict. And to this day, it is my favorite visual platform. Like, if my blog weren't a thing, I would still be pinning every day. I can't stay away from it. It's my favorite thing to do. It gives me hope, it inspires me, and it leaves me feeling uplifted. Whereas social media to me often just leaves me feeling drained, and it doesn't feel good at all to me for the most part. I'm trying to change my mindset on this, but in the beginning days, that's how it felt. So, all of this to say, what is your Pinterest? What platform would you engage in if money or business were never a thing? This is your soul-aligned platform. The title of this episode is Commit to a Platform That is Aligned with Your Soul and Never Work a Day in Your Life. And I promise you, if you can find a platform that you would do regardless if you got paid for it or not, you will never feel like you're working a day in your life. And there's never been a day that I've taken off Pinterest because I just love it. So, for those of you who have still not figured out what your soul-aligned platform is, those of you that don't really have the answer off the top of your head, you're probably going to have to discover it via trial and error, and that is just through action. And regardless of what you do, don't kid yourself. In the beginning, nothing is going to feel completely easy. There will always be the obligatory learning curve. But in some sense, even through the learning curve, it should still feel at the core somewhat intuitive, and you should somehow have the enthusiasm behind the platform and to be excited to continue to show up on that platform every damn day to share the unique gifts God has placed inside of you. Source, God, whatever. Okay. So now maybe some of you have decided that Instagram is your Pinterest, and that's fine. Work with it. Actually, I've got some great news for you. So it's become so much easier to direct traffic back to your monetized platform with Instagram now, where back in the old days when I was starting off, it required 10,000 followers to link back to your website in the Insta Story feature. Now anyone can add a custom link to their story. And as a result of this, I'll probably be spending a little more time on my Instagram stories as well. So be sure to follow along at Designing Vibes. So for the Instagram lovers, fret not. Your stories can be a source of potential traffic and eyeballs on your self-hosted platform. Okay, well, I somehow got through this podcast with the dog barking in the background, and it's been a little nerve-wracking and frazzling, but I hope you had a light bulb moment today. It would mean so much if you could give this show a 5-star review and or screenshot the episode on your phone, upload it to your stories, and tag me in it at Designing Vibes. And I will also leave all of my contact info, profile links, and what I refer to in these episodes all in the show notes. So I hope this helped, and I'm sending you all my love.